the little wide-mouthed frog. Once upon a time, there was a little frog who lived in the forest with his mother. Now this little frog was a very curious frog, and he would ask his mother about 1,000 questions a day. And 1,000 questions? That's too many questions for just one mother. And one day, when the little wide-mouthed frog said, "Mom! Mom! Mommy! What do the other animals like to eat?" The mother frog said, "Oh, my darling, I just don't know. Maybe it would be a good idea for you to go out into the forest and ask the other animals what they like to eat." And the little wide-mouthed frog said, "Oh, Mom, that's a great idea. That's what I'll do. I'll hop out into the forest and I'll ask all the other animals what they like to eat." And the mother frog said, "Wait a minute. Before you hop out into the forest, you have to remember to use your best manners. Remember to introduce yourself. You tell the other animals your name. You say, 'I'm a wide-mouthed frog.' Can you remember to do that?" The little wide-mouthed frog said, "Sure, Mom, sure. I'll tell the other animals my name. I'll say, 'I'm a wide-mouthed frog.'" "That's right," said the mother, and she kissed her little frog on the top of his head, and off he hopped into the forest. Well, he didn't have to go very far before he came upon a big brown bear. The little wide-mouthed frog hopped right up to the bear and said, "Mr. Bear, Mr. Bear, what do you like to eat?" And the bear turned around and looked down at the little wide-mouthed frog and said, "Well, I like to eat fish. I like to eat berries. I love to eat honey." And when he said the word honey, he started to sniff the air, and off he went in search of some honey. Before the little wide-mouthed frog had a chance to introduce himself, and he said, "Oh no, I forgot to use my best manners. My mom is going to be so mad. I better introduce myself right now." And he called out after the bear, "Mr. Bear! Mr. Bear! I'm a wide-mouthed frog." Well, the little wide-mouthed frog hopped further into the forest, and pretty soon he came upon a beautiful deer. He hopped right up to the deer and he said, Miss Deer, what do you like to eat?" And the beautiful deer lifted her head and said, "In the spring, when the grass is green and the leaves are new, I like to eat the grass and the leaves. But in the winter, when snow covers the ground and there is no food to be found, then I eat the bark off the trees." And with that, she leapt and leapt away, and the little wide-mouthed frog watched her go. And then he said, "Oh no, I didn't tell the beautiful deer my name. My mom is going to be so mad. I better introduce myself right now." And he called out after the deer, Miss Deer, I'm a wide-mouthed frog." Well, he hopped and hopped and hopped some more, and pretty soon he came upon a little bird. And I bet you know a lot of things that birds eat. What do you think they eat? Worms? Seeds? Breadcrumbs? Lots of things. So he hopped up to the little bird and said, "Hey, little bird, what do you like to eat?" And the little bird said, "I like to eat worms, I like to eat seeds, I like to eat breadcrumbs, I like to eat bugs, I like to eat worms." And the bird flew away before the little wide-mouthed frog had a chance to introduce himself. And so he shouted all the way up to the sky. You can do it too. "I'm a wide-mouthed frog." Well, he hopped and hopped and hopped some more. And as he hopped, the forest got darker and the path got muddier. And that's because the little wide-mouthed frog was hopping up to a swamp. And at the edge of the swamp, he stopped and he looked out at the swampy water. And there was a great green log floating there. And he looked at it, and it started to swim. And as the log swam closer, the little wide-mouthed frog saw that it was an alligator. And when the alligator was very close, the little wide-mouthed frog said, "Mr. Alligator, what do you like to eat?" And the alligator said, "I like wide-mouthed frogs. Have you seen any wide-mouthed frogs?" "I'm a small-mouthed frog." And with that, the alligator swam away. And the little wide-mouthed frog, he hopped all the way home. And now you know why. Sometimes it's a good idea to keep a wide mouth shut. The